Hey, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you have joined. I can see familiar faces. Thanks, Priya, as well for joining in. We will just give a couple of, just give me 1 minute. So the objective of this particular audio event is specific to what is actually generative AI. So this is anyone who are there on the listeners panel can also jump in and share their thoughts, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about what I feel, because there are a lot of buzzwords about these things. The UAE office also just released a very wonderful document that yesterday I had gone through about 100 practical uses of generative AI in whatever industries you are. So I had gone through it in details yesterday evening, and I also shared it on my LinkedIn profile today, the use cases of generative AI. Now, before we learn how to use, we learn how to understand, because we have to first see whether it is actually useful for us. Do we really need to use this? This particular session I just kept to talk about what actually is generative AI. I have been doing a lot of talks about this, and there are a lot of misconceptions about these things as well. So I thought this particular event may be a good way. Maybe I'll share my thoughts, and also I will take some of the inputs from the listeners panel as well. I know there are a lot of people who I know personally as well who are really educated and who know about this, so also can come in and share if they feel that they can add some value. So actually generative AI is a part of an AI. So first of all, we need to understand that generative AI, generative artificial intelligence, is a small part of artificial intelligence. This is basically what actually we all know that artificial intelligence is very old. It started in 1956, and it has been a very old practice wherein we are analyzing data that has been generated historically, and from that data we are giving some outputs. So this is the basic, you can say there are a lot of definitions of AI, but we like to simplify it. I always simplify it by this particular thing. There are many other definitions, but from Wikipedia as well as any basic definition, it is something that you are deriving an intelligence artificially from previous data and using that intelligence to predict or to use it for any current use case that is there. So for now, this is clear about AI, and there are a lot of things that has come across after that, like machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI. This particular term has been in right now, since November it has been used publicly, and because of the release of OpenAI to the public by tools like ChatGPT, DALL-E 2. But these particular creations that are there about generative AI that are using transformers, and we all know the full form of what is the full form of ChatGPT. Chat is basically the conversational part, and GPT is generative pre-trained transformers. So this is a model that is there. It is a very advanced model. We have seen a lot of models that are there, and these models are getting more and more complex, and you can say computational. Like, as we all know, the billion parameters, the GPT-3 had around 175 billion parameters, but GPT-4, the actual numbers is not known, but it is much more, the parameters that are being trained on. So we don't need to go into much details about but there are a lot of very beautiful papers out of, if anyone is actually in this group is really interested to know about the foundations of all these models, I will tell them to read about the attention models, the importance of attention models. It is a paper that was released, I don't know the exact date, but it is released, and that it founds the basis of all the transformer models that are there. Maybe I have already shared once in my LinkedIn earlier on. It is attention models, and how it is the basics of all the transformer models, specifically the large language models that are being used. I don't want to go into much details about this in this talk, but you can anyways, because my audience here is not as so technical as well, but we have to understand that this generative AI has been built by, as we all know, there is a lot of tech behind this. There is a lot of hard work by the data scientists and the artificial intelligence experts to create something like this, and it is going to get better and better. And we need to there are two types of you can say users, or two types of users of this particular technology. One are the producers who actually understand the open models that I am talking about, like BERT, GPT models, and you understand them and also can use them in making some applications or customizing it according to their niche. And that is one part of the equation wherein you need to be little bit technically sound. And the other part is the users, the normal consumers, what I say, people who can use these tools, the chat GPTs, DALL-E 2, Midjourney, and there are many much more, but they need to have a little bit educated knowledge about when they are using it to make a better use case of this, because we all know that these tools what it is required we have a input. In traditional artificial intelligence model, the input is also, we don't care about the input, like recommendation engines, forecasting. There are big tech companies who do all these works, and we as a user, we don't care, like Instagram filters and all those things. It does not matter so much about the input. But here what is happening in generative AI, you need to be very you can say knowledgeable about the input that you are giving, the prompts that you are giving, because the more specific and the more detailed the prompt you give, the more better your output will be. That's why here the knowledge and you can say awareness is very important. That's why even the UAE government has come up with a very good document, which I've also shared today on my LinkedIn. You can go today on my profile, whoever on the call, and get it and have a look at it. They have given 100 use cases. So that is why you need to know, be aware of using. Why I'm telling you this is because as we all know, the back end of these models, whatever models that are there, they are trained on previous historical data, that is large language models, that are collection of tokens are words that are there. And when we are typing, when we are asking a question, what it actually does, these chat GPT or any models specifically, they are giving you the next token, and by the probability that that particular has the highest, that is only it is going to recommend, that is only it is going to type from the billions of data that they have seen on the internet, or on the, not on the internet, on their large language model which they have created by there is a different science behind how they have created that models, using web crawlers, Wikipedia, Reddit data, and the indexed data of all the web pages. I don't want to go into details of how they have created the large language models, which has collection of billions of parameters, but it is going to give you the next frequency of the word that comes across. As we all know, it is how it is getting that word. It is getting that word from historical data. For simplicity purpose, we will tell like that. But there are technicalities. It may be a little bit different, but it is actually giving you output from historical data. So the biasness comes into the picture. The biasness comes into the picture of how the data is there, who has, because actually it is still coming from someone who has typed someone's input. It is coming, but upon the popularity and the probability, it is giving us an output. So now we have to be a little bit careful about the output. We need to do our own judgment. This is an awareness that I tell about, because we cannot just blindly depend. We can just not take it for granted. We have to put in our own you can say thoughts. Yesterday I had a conversation. I can see one person here is Hemant, right? He was telling that someone told him that ChatGPT is directly analyzing the web URL of LinkedIn profile. So someone is putting the LinkedIn profile and analyze the LinkedIn profile and tell me the points. So this is what the information he got. But according to my research and my knowledge, ChatGPT does not have access, so they cannot open any website URL directly and analyze it. This is not their functionality as of now. There are some plugins in ChatGPT 4 Plus that is there, but ChatGPT does not have direct access. It uses a plugin that is also not designed by them. There are some third-party companies that do it. I don't want to talk about that. I'm just talking about ChatGPT's capabilities and its policies. It is not allowed, or it cannot access any web URL and give a particular information. It does not have that capability, and it cannot, because it is against the policy to access any third-party website directly at the URL that you give and take information out of there. But ChatGPT, when you give your LinkedIn URL and you tell them to analyze, suppose you give your LinkedIn URL, like for my LinkedIn URL is linkedin.com /MD Arshad. So, and I tell them to, and it will give me an output. So I tried this yesterday, it gave me an output, but what is that output actually? It does not go to the website, but what it does, it takes LinkedIn keyword and the name that I put in the URL profile, MD Arshad. It searches on the large language model and sees this name, this LinkedIn profile, MD Arshad, what was the information that they had crawled till back in 2021 and gave whatever information, and it gave. Why I am telling this? Because it gave few lines. I thought it is accurate, but when I read more, it was not at all accurate. It took MD Arshad, that was not me, it was some other MD Arshad, and some other details, some other profile, and the information that it was, if a person sees for the first time and he does not give so much attention, he will think that actually ChatGPT has done this work. But if you go through the details and read it and see what has actually happened scientifically, it is all wrong. It has just hallucinated that it has seen the web page and it has given an output, but it has not. It has just used the keywords that are there, and it has searched its large language models and given us an output. So these are the things that we need to be careful about, and whenever anyone tells us about these things, also we need to use our own knowledge, our own brains to see whether that thing is correct or not, because there is a lot of misinformation, misselling, mishype that is happening around these topics. And one more thing, and I think what I had to I talked about. If anyone wants to jump into the speakers panel and talk about this, is also they are welcome to share their thoughts. And the one more thing is that I wanted to also share about this. People say that this particular tool is biased. It is biased, correct. When you go and use Playground or the open APIs directly to see what are the frequencies of word that come after, whenever you type up and give a situation about a nurse, what happens that it is going to assume, that OpenAI is going to assume that the nurse is going to be a female, right? This is a gender bias that is really a big problem, which has to be addressed. So we have these things also we need to be cognizant about. And if you mention a prompt about a doctor and you write a sentence, that the probability of the next word is also going to be the doctor is a male. This has been fed, I don't know how, and they have to really improve upon these specific things that are there, because there are a lot of, you can say, memes and social media things that talk about the inefficiencies about the gender bias and the biasness of these tools. As we all know, it is going to be biased because it has trained on billions of data without any quality control. This is an OpenAI researched company. It is not a you can say a corporation, right? It is a open source company which has just used the web crawlers, there is something called as a book clubs, where the unpublished books that are there, the contents, the index pages, and what all sources. And I know Reddit also is being used a lot for the prompts that are getting seen by us, the output that is getting seen by us. And there are some bias that is because at the end of the day, the humans were only typing. The input of these tools are coming from humans. If you can see from a large lens little bit outside. It is humans only, right? Humans have been typing these things about their stories about nurse, and then followed by that, always she was very caring, the nurse was very caring, she helped me. So these things have been stored, and the ranking of these words, the frequency of these words are much higher. And now when OpenAI is just searching for these keywords, they are getting a she only in front of the nurse. It is assuming that the nurse is a female, the doctor is a male. These are the things that are coming. So there has to be some quality control in the input. So that's why we cannot directly use OpenAI for business use cases directly. We need to have a layer, or we need to create our own using some of the open source model that is as backend, have our own, you can say, filtering criteria, quality control, governance, to make sure that if you are using it as a chatbot or as any in your productionizing it for your company or for your business, then these things you need to be into consideration. But for a user who is using to generate it for its marketing content, for them also, they need to be careful about these things. They need to be more specific about the prompts that they are giving. It has to be very much detailed, very much long, to get a better output. And as we all know, it is conversational. If you feel that that prompt that you are getting is not proper, then you can talk to it again and tell, please rephrase it according to that. So these are the things that we should be cognizant of. We should know how these tools are working, how generative AI is working. And it is not a, you can say, it seems like a black box. But when I'm talking to you about the details, the small details about how it is working, the attention models, the large language models, finally you will be also able to relate and tweak it accordingly. Because I understand it is a black box for many of us. For me also it is a little bit like a black box, but at least I know how I can control my input in a proper way so that the output is accurate. As we all know, in the data science AI world, garbage in, garbage out. So now we have to make sure that we need to clean, process, be very specific, ask the right questions. Even this is a skill that will always remain. Whatever technology comes and goes, we need to have the skill of asking the right questions. Even in Google, right, if you know what you are searching for exactly, you will get it. Similarly, for OpenAI or ChatGPT or any generative tool, if you know exactly what you want, be very specific. Give your tone, give your situation that you are for that particular AI tool to go into the large language models and get you the best output. So now this was more of what I had to say. I have some more things on my mind, but anyone in this group who are listening, or the 30 people who are there, want to give their comments, ask any specific questions, I really love to take that as well. I just had these things in mind to share. And if you have any specific questions you want to also, you can put in the comment of this live audio event page. You can put it in the comment. If you are if you're not able to speak, I will read your question and I will give my answer about this. And any specific data question also that you have, if any of you in the audience wants to ask me something, you can quickly ask. I have around 10 minutes or so, and that will be great. The only thing, if there is still no one is coming, is you need to learn about these things little bit more in details. One thing, the option of people who want to actually try the API and the playground of OpenAI, they have $18 credit that is there. You can try and do that. After that credit, it is going to cost you, but you have, at least you can try it for 2-3 weeks. Yes, Nithi wants to speak. I'm just giving you 1 second. Yeah, just 1 second. I'm allowing you to speak. Just give a second. Why is it not coming? Can you just do again, Nidhi? Then just I'm not. Yeah. Can you just raise your hand again? Okay. Cool. Let me allow to speak. I don't know. This not coming. The allow to speak option. Let me. You are you using your laptop? I'm not sure. It is not working. Can you? Okay, let me just try again. Allow to speak. There is some issue. Yeah, Nidhi, you are in.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go
Hi,
ahead,
can you hear
Nidhi.
me?
Yes, I can hear you, Nidhi. Thank
Okay,
you.
amazing. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I was listening in from the laptop and I didn't realize I should be on the phone, so I just changed. Uh, very quickly, thank you. It was very informative. I'm not very savvy with ChatGPT. I've recently started using it as a starting point to create, posts for my social media. Now, my question to you basically is, as you were talking about, how it gets all this data, it is historical, it is of course created by humans and stuff. When somebody puts in a request for like a general kind of, if I'm creating a social media post on a certain topic, and it creates a post for me, I just want to make sure that it is not repeated for somebody else, right? Because of whatever the social media algorithms do not appreciate repeated data, and I also don't want to be plagiarizing unintentionally. So what is your thought on that? I mean, in terms of having original data, content. So I just want to know your thoughts on that. Yeah.
Yeah, Nidhi, very nice question. So this is the problem. See, what happens when you are using it to directly generate content and without the thing is you are giving a prompt about content, creating a content. If it is very two lines of prompt, very simple line of prompt, like just for example, talk something about leadership coach. Give write a post about leadership coach. If you just give a very general topic, it is going to give you a prompt, and the same, and you are going to use that prompt. You are going to use that output as a post. Now, what happens if now, as we all know, that the data is trained till June 2021. GPT-3, whatever we are using, the free version. If you are using the free version, the paid version is using data a little bit more further, but ideally for the free version it is using till 2021. So now suppose a third person like I after 2 days I'm going to type the same prompt that you have typed, and then because you already have posted that content in your LinkedIn or whatever place it is there on the web somewhere. But now what is going to happen when I'm going to put the same prompt, there is a probability of not 10% or 20% that I will be getting if I put the exact same prompt that you have put. If it is a very general prompt, like write a post about leadership coach, and then it is going to give me a same output. The probability is there 10%. Please, I'm not. This is never every time exact, because all these are there are a lot of probabilities involved. So there is a probability of 10% that can give me the same post that it has given you, and then I post it. But now it is that you have posted before me, I have posted later. I will be the one who is being told that I have copied. But it can happen with you also. If some person earlier had put the same prompt 2 days before, then there is a probability that, so these things are happening, right? These things are happening.
Yeah.
So we need to be careful. That's why I told you can never, whenever you put a prompt, you have to be very, very specific. So I use 3-4 lines of prompts. If I have to even use something, I have to be very specific, and then I change it little bit. I add a personal touch. We cannot directly use those posts if we are concerned about plagiarism or copy, because this is really happening, and as we all know, the quality of the content that is going in social media is becoming more and more, you can say, Similar, yeah, generic. It is getting
Yes,
more and more
yes.
similar. So these are the things that we need to. I don't advise people to directly use it for content from their post, but use it for ideas, structure, and then accordingly tweak it with a personal touch. Because any LinkedIn post that you are giving or any that I always tell, add a personal touch. In my experience, because they will give you a generic content, but use that content and give a personal touch so that it looks personal. So these are some of the things that are there. I have Rajendra Soni as well. So Nidhi, anything else you want to add? Did I answer your question?
No. You did, and thank you for clarifying that. I always am very scared. I've been writing my posts for forever. So although it's very tempting to use all of these things, it's simpler. But I always had a doubt that this is not the right way to do it. So thank you for clarifying that. Arshan.
You can use it for ideas. So you can use it to create
Yeah.
calendars. So what I suggest you, if I have 1 minute, what you can do, directly don't use that content of for direct post, but use it to, like, suppose you want a 1 month calendar, and you want to talk about leadership transformation, leadership series for next 20 days. Ask them to generate ideas and make a calendar, and then that help makes you design calendars and give you content ideas, and then it makes your work easier. But directly using it is a question mark, and I suggest if you are concerned about your credibility in the online space, little bit you have to be careful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Arshan.
Thank you. Hey BJ, you want to add something? BG.
Yeah, hi. Hey, just want to share what I am doing for the question what Nidhi asked.
Yes.
But before that, I also know that there are some AI tools which will help you check for plagiarism check using AI tools. So after you develop with ChatGPT, put on Zero GPT, for example, AI. But what I do is, I, of course, prompt very well by giving a lot of details with my imagination.
Yes.
And then I get the content, I copy the content, and I paste on a Word document. And in the Word document, there is an editing feature. So, of course, it will help edit like Grammarly, but beyond the editing, you can also add some synonyms or change some words or make it look better. But there is also a button there for checking similarity with online content. It's an inbuilt feature in the Word. So I check that, and if it says no similarity is found offline, and I go and post. So that's what I do. But I came in to ask something else, Mohammed.
Yes, go ahead.
There are a lot of, you know, that AI space is very hyperactive, and there is a lot of people posting as experts for AI, and which is okay. But thing is that for me, I want some guidance from you. Like as an enthusiast of learning new technology, taking advantage of technology in my regular work, how do I go about getting better at it? So anybody can use ChatGPT or some other AI tools for their work. But if I want to do better, one notch up, for example, we know that there are tools already existing like Excel, and people can use Excel, and a lot of people know how to use Excel, but there are like super efficient using Excel. Now, I don't want to be that super efficient, but I want to go one notch higher. So, how do I go about it? What do you suggest?
Very good question, Viji. So regarding first point I will add about what you suggested to Nidhi was that is what I tell. You need to not directly take output from. You need to do your homework. Like you have devised a plan that works for you. And the thing about these plagiarism tools, it is good for articles which is more than 400 to 500 words. For that, it is doing a good job. For a post of 120 to 200 words, it is not doing a good job. For small social media posts, these things are not doing a good job. But for articles or anything more than 300 400 words, because as there are more words, these tools checking this self-plagiarism checking tool, this copy tools are able to give us a good idea. And now coming to your second question. So now, as I told in my this event also, there are two types of users. One are the producers and the other are the consumers. You need to be a good consumer, as we all know, as you also suggested the good ideas how to, whatever work we are doing, we can use these tools to make our work more faster and better and more effective. Now the producer part I mentioned, to know technical things, to know, to make whatever you are doing, to learn the techniques as well, to understand. So now for your specific case that you are working, you are using tools like any industry, like I think you are into I can see asset performance. You so and most of the people in their jobs they are using Excel, Microsoft Excel. Even I, as a data scientist, as an AI expert, I use also Excel for more than 50% of my time. Microsoft Excel is a very good tool for most of the whoever are working on a laptop, whoever have a desk job, for them Excel is very important. We all know that people know how to use Excel. It is, but as you know, if you know how to use Excel a little bit better, you know the shortcuts, you know the shortcut keys, you know the all the ways to and do things faster. Your effectivity, your productivity will get much better. So those are the things you have to now identify in your work. Whatever you are using, try to learn better ways to do things. That is called incremental learning while you are at your job. That is the best way to learn. You can also go ahead, once you know Excel, what I suggest is for people who are in jobs to learn a little bit of Excel macros. Whatever you are doing manually, you can do little bit of. These are very people say it is a very old thing, but to be honest, Excel macros really helps you automate your work that you do manually, and it saves a lot of time. And it is not that tough to learn. You just need to spend few hours to learn Excel macros, automate whatever you are doing. That is one thing. Power BI, use Power Pivots and all those things that are there that can help you summarize, make forms, and make things better. So these are the things that I generally suggest for people. Microsoft and Power BI and little bit of macros are the things to start learning, specific to your question, who want to be good in their whatever they are doing, and that is the first step to know, because Excel and these things are very important. Even if you are seriously, if you want to learn new technologies as well, right, BG, if you want to learn, even you want to get into this space, what we are talking about, these topics, then also you need to know these tools very well, because whatever you analyze the data, you will do it on Excel itself, and then you can learn. So I was talking more about this generative AI models. You also use ChatGPT. Every more than 1 billion people use ChatGPT, but no one. How many of you in the call have used actually the Open AI APIs and Playground? If I talk to so many people, ChatGPT everyone has played around with, but very few people have actually used the API and the Playground. The Playground is a place, it is a part of the OpenAI tool wherein you can see the words that I am telling, right? The nurse, whenever you type a question about the nurse, when you see the frequency of she coming is more than 80% compared to the probability of he coming is 20%. How do you know all this? If I know, because I have used all this and done my research on Playground, and I am not telling to everyone just by hearing it from here and there, because many people, as you also told, they are AI so-called experts. They are just talking half-baked knowledge, which is more dangerous. As I was telling, Hemant yesterday told me that he attended one event wherein someone told that LinkedIn profile you can give and you can analyze and get. I was like shocked. How can the person tell like that? Because it is against the policy, and it is never told that ChatGPT or all these tools can access any website URL. Suppose I can put any third party company, any competitor's website, and can I get any data directly from there? It is against the privacy policy. It is against the ethics. It is against so many things that are there, and even ChatGPT does not do that. but people are convincingly telling in trainings and in seminars that it is possible, which is we have. That's why, to be honest, I am doing such types of seminars. Before these before the, hearing so much negative things about wrong information about it has really spiked up. Even in my LinkedIn and my everyone is talking about generative AI. People who are in college, they are talking about these things. That's fine, but when you're talking, please do your research, know about the topic, try it out yourself, and then talk about it. Because you think that if you talk about a trending topic, you are going to get more popularity. That is not the case. You have to have an credibility and an authentic source of information, and you should talk with your experience. Because if you give a wrong information without knowledge, you just share some feed or some post just to gain more followers, it is going to hurt your credibility. So that is why I do so many sessions like this. I have been increasing and this more and more, because I want to give at least from my side. Even I also don't have complete knowledge, to be honest, about how exactly the large language model works, because it is very complex models. But at least I know it's the base, little bit the foundations of little bit how it is doing. It is using lot of other things as well, a lot of deep learning transformers, and lot of mathematical calculation is going on. And if I have to spend years to know it properly, but at least I know the foundations, and at least I know what is possible and what is not possible. And so now I have, I hope Vijay I answered your question. I know it was very long, but your answer is you need to learn, first of all, in the job that you are doing, you need to learn skills that can make your work faster, and second, learn about these things that I'm telling, how it works. Just read some papers, attend some webinars from some credible speakers, and then try to learn about it and increase your knowledge. I hope I answered your question, Vijay.
Yes, you did very well. Just a follow-up question on that is that the access to OpenAI Playground, how do you get access to that?
Okay, so what you can do is just do OpenAI Playground. So it gives $18 credit for every user. $18 credit. I think you when did you open your OpenAI account, Vijay?
I think 2 months back.
Few months back, yeah. So if when you open your account till 3 months, they give you $18 credit. As we know, this Playground, what it does, it directly works with the text DaVinci 003 model that GPT-3 is using. So it is directly going to fetch you the output. So it is going to use your dollars. $18 is given free for 3 months. So you can try out that. After that, for every token, for every word that you put in, for every output that comes, for every token there is 0.1. So suppose 100 words come, so $1 will be charged. So something like that. So, but we have time to, you have time till $18 to try out these things, to learn, to practice. After that, you need to because this is very helpful for people who want to develop their own. They have to develop and understand how the prompt is working. For them, it is very good. So to be honest, I use the Playground a lot to develop very good prompts that is working for me. And you can also try that. And $18 is free for every user, and it is actually not only linked to your email address, because many people can create 100 email addresses and use it. It is not like that. We all know OpenAI is linked to a mobile number. So for every mobile number, you can only open one account, and for every one account, you can get $18. After the $18 is exhausted, you can convert to a paid account. Paid account, what it does is it will give you a 18 for every text, as I told you, 100 words you have to pay around $1 or maybe less. I think you can just see, because every model there is a different price. The most expensive one is DaVinci, that is around $0.004 per token. Just play around with that. I tell people to actually, who are really interested as you, if you are interested to know how more it works, you can try Playground. And to be honest, before this also, you can do API calls. API calls is different, it's a little bit more technical, but I actually use that to create my own chatbot for my data science academy. But the thing is, as we know, it is expensive. These tools are actually, we are using it free, but it is very, very expensive for them to process it. As we all know, in the session, I think you also attended, where Shwamvi was telling, right, for every generative AI token, this much energy is being used. So it is actually, some money is going by Azure. Microsoft is paying money for all of our what all we are doing for now. so it is a little bit, you can say, expensive. But now we are not able to feel it because we are using the free versions, but it is expensive. I hope I answered your question, BG.
Perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for, creating my own chatbot, not to create model, but how to embed chat GPT capability into a particular environment. So that is specifically what I was looking for. So I got the answer to the first steps towards that. So I will start working on it. Meanwhile, I just read that Microsoft is planning to monetize by releasing ChatGPT for businesses on a subscription model. So there will be various things
actually,
coming out.
to be honest, this space, since the ChatGPT has launched, it has become so this has become so every day some of the other news comes, some of the very interesting things comes up, and it's very tough for me also to stay, you can say, updated with all the things that are happening. As we all know, there are a lot of competition. Meta is also doing a lot of things, Google is also doing a lot of things, Microsoft is doing a lot of things, and it is becoming a more and more competitive space. So it's an interesting time. So thank you, BG. I think Rajender is there, he wants to add something.
Hello, hi guys, hi Muhammad, hi BG, Nidhi and Priya, Ramiwal, Karthik, Vijay, Esther, Ahmed, Shashank, Varun and Roghaya, Cloud, Parmeswar, Hemant, Abdul Malik, David, Patrick, Dhanwanti, Brahma, Osman and CA Pradeep. Guys, this is a really engaging session. Thank you so much for hosting it, Muhammad. I have been able to get answers to so many of my questions that were in my mind actually, and now they are solved. So thank you so much, first of all, for doing this session. So one suggestion over there, when I joined, actually Nidhi was talking at that time. So one suggestion for Nidhi as a coach is, because I am training the coaches also, see, what I do as a coach is that when, suppose if I want to use ChatGPT, so most of the time I don't use ChatGPT. If I have to use, then what I do is that to get the answers to the questions specifically asked by my trainees, like who are writers and coaches, when they ask me questions, those questions I exactly add them to the prompt over there, as the prompt over there. So what happens that those questions are very specific and very to the point, and those are basically sometimes a general community's question related over there. Like someone is a keynote speaker coach like Matangi Iyer, so she is asking some other question which only is related to her community. So then that problem will not happen with you, where people where you're landing into copyright problems or something like that. Okay. So that is one of the suggestions that I wanted to give. Nothing else that I want to add over here, because you guys are superior than me in everything, in intellect and even in the AI part. I'm completely newbie into this artificial intelligence system, because as a writing coach, I never actually, I will tell you very honestly that I was against AI. But right now, AI is taking over and I have to agree. And then as a responsible coach, I have to take so many decisions in my academy. Many of my writers who came to me to become writers, actually trainee writers, aspiring writers, newbies and all, those people are not getting the jobs now. Basically the we can say the entry level jobs have been taken by AI. Okay. But again, for coaches and consultants, AI is basically a really good thing to create content like anything. But again, the thing is that if we will use AI a lot and not focus on our own creative juices, then what will happen that the emotionality and the creativity and the various sensitive natures of human and default nature will not be added to the content. When this is not done, then ultimately the readers on LinkedIn or on other places, they will get to know that this content is robotic, and this will actually create a lot of problem for the coaches, and the committee members will not agree with their content because they will see that it is actually robotic. So you need to, even if you are taking help of ChatGPT or some other software over there, what you need to do is that you need to actually add some words in the prompt as suggested by Mohammed, and that you can only focus on your when you're working on your niches. Okay, so and the best thing is that you should actually focus on a micro niche title. I'm the micro niche expert of India also, and you can go to Google and type micro niche expert and you will find me over there receiving the national record for this. So basically I've been working on the micro niches since 2006. I've written more than 1000 articles first of all, and many of my articles have been referenced in Google Books as well. So one thing which I can give as a suggestion to all the people who are actually listening to this LinkedIn audio event is that whenever you want to take something from ChatGPT, first of all try to write it on your own. Okay, or do one thing. If you are a community manager, if you're a coach, or even if you're on LinkedIn and you don't have anything, just go ahead and even before writing the post, go and create a poll for that. Okay, below the poll you can ask them to write comments also. From those comments also you will get so many ideas to add in the prompt, and that will make your question or the title of the article or anything over there, whatever you want to make, like YouTube script, you want to make a podcast script or anything like that, everything will be coming in a very unique way, which will actually help you differentiate from your target market, from your competitors, and this will help you overcome any of the copyright problems also. So that's what I just wanted to
thank you Rajendra. Cool. So thank you a lot for that. So as I was telling earlier as well, so this is one part of the thing, right? Rajendra has really covered. Thanks for that. Is how to use it, how to be a good consumer of these tools. And my main purpose is not that as well. It is also how to understand how it works. And questions like how BG asked are really relevant and important. How we can learn and use it in a much better way. So in the technical way, right? How to learn the little bit how to use it to upskill yourself, how to use it to become a producer, and how to become more technically strong. So one thing, BG, also what you asked, and I forgot about adding it. We all hear the word. What is actually AI doing? I also talked about this event last Friday. It is basically, why are we using this? We are using it as a consumer, that is fine. But how are companies using artificial intelligence? You should understand that they are using artificial intelligence to automate work, to automate the dull, difficult, daunting and dumb work that can be automated, so that we humans can focus on the essence of the things that really matter, the creativity, our goals. So that is one thing we need to keep in mind. Whatever skills out there regarding AI, this particular audio event is specific to generative AI, but this is a buzzword, but anything that you can automate even in your work, even in your company's work that you are doing, think about it. That is what we call as automation. It's a business process automation that is there. Even if you are a solopreneur, you're an entrepreneur, you are working in a company, any type of work that you are doing. As I was telling Nidhi as well, before I used to spend so much time in making my calendars. I used to spend in a week, because I do posting in all the platforms, and I had a team. To be honest, I had 2 people and that is there, who used to do, and there used to be a lot of back and forth to do my social media calendar. There were 2 people interns that were doing this work. After this technology came and lot of tools that have come, now I only have 1%, right? I know it is bad but now it is more efficient, and only 1% is, and that also is only using half of the time. He's only using around 5 to 6 hours a week to or schedule to everything, to plan everything. So the work has been automated, not completely, but at least to the point that it is more efficient, less resources are used. This is just one part of it, right? Anything that you are doing, any work that you are doing, email marketing, according to the type of person that is there who is coming into your page, according to this behavior, what message you have to send. So there are a lot of automations in email marketing, specific personalized messages you can send. We all know that, and it is very good to use. So we have to learn these tools in whatever businesses we are doing. It can be anything. You have to sit back and you have to see where all you can use automation. So AI is actually a very big word, but finally it boils down to automation. It's not actually artificial intelligence, but it is the main purpose of that is automation. Even if you don't require high-end models or techniques that are there, simple automations, as I was telling BG, so simple VBA can also really help you reduce your task. That is the main thing that is the main objective about AI. So it's an industry revolution. People in some events, they were telling this washing machines, dishwashers, what actually it did. It reduced people's work before people used to spend hours in washing clothes. Now there is a washing machine that takes care of this heavy task, and now people are having more time to focus on things that actually matter. Similarly, AI is doing the same thing, right? In a bigger picture, it is helping us you can say reduce time on before the big things that used to take us time to do, but now so that we can focus on creativity or things that really improve value on our learning. Because nowadays what is happening, that we really need to learn a lot. So many new technologies are coming. What was relevant to 1 year, 2 years back, the type of things that I was working on, the type of models, now it is now more or less it is obsolete. Now the things have moved so advanced and so, you can say, technical, and so the things are moving very fast. We all know that. If in next 1 or 2 years things are going to change more and more, so we need to keep learning, we need to keep upskilling, we need to be ready to embrace the change, to be open to understand, to learn these technologies. So now I think there is one more person who wants to speak. Anything else who you want to add? BG, Nidhi, who are there in the speakers panel, and anyone who's listening who wants to talk and think about, have their suggestions, can talk about. Do you want to add anything, Dhanvati? I have 5 more minutes.
Okay. Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
Dhanvati.
Sorry. Hi. Hello, everyone. Such a enjoyable talk, I must say, because I follow generative AI very regularly on LinkedIn, and I see all these hundreds of new tools appearing every day. One is I want to know the genuineness of the lists and lists of tools that come, because as practically as I would like to speak is how many of them can be tried. And do you also do like short, webinars to train on some of these tools which are practical in our, use? For example, you spoke about the calendar, or creating presentations, or some of these tools which are actually helping automate systems at work. And for example, I am a solopreneur, so I have to do everything myself. So some of these tools, do you do like, webinars or short courses to actually make people get on using them immediately?
Dhanvati, very good question. So that is the problem that I addressed earlier also. There are a lot of, you can say, as we know, it's a buzzword. Many as we all know, few years back, 2020, just before COVID or just after COVID, there was a Web3 cryptocurrency was a very big hype. At this wave, so many companies introduced their cryptos, and so many of them were scams. So many people lost their money. So when there is a hype cycle, many people, many companies use this opportunity to make money out of it. So that is one thing, and this is the hype cycle. That's why I'm doing such sessions, because I need to, because I have been working in 18 years in AI space, and I have been seeing this very closely. To be honest, we are listening about these things right now, but back even in 99, 98, there were talks about these things. In 2018, 19, there were some talks, but there was some research going on. I told about the attention models. There were research going on, but it was not, companies were using it. Google was using it, but it was not open for public like now that we all are talking about. So the thing is, these tools, the question is coming that you need to first, many tools are coming out, right? You cannot just believe in it unless
Which
it is.
ones are authentic?
Yes. So you cannot, first of all, how these tools are being built. These tools are being built by just using the open AI models that are there, the models that are there in public, and they are just taking that model, adding a layer of any layer that according to them is useful, and they have, so what is there, they have backend, the model is there, the model that they have no control. It is just an open source model with the complete garbage that is there. So that they just take that model, make a open, you can say simple front end application, Java, from JavaScript or Node.js, which is an interface to that model. So basically what they are doing is that they are giving you access to the OpenAI, the model that ChatGPT is using, but with a different interface. Even if you pay money and buy that, you will be finally doing something like that for most of the cases. But you have to, that's why you have to read about that company. If it is a big 5 company, big 4 company that we all know, that would be that you need to understand. Like anything that Google takes out, Microsoft takes out, then there can be some genuinity, or Meta takes out. But if any third parties that you don't know and has just come up, then they are doing these things. So you have to be a little bit careful. Now you ask about me. I don't generally do specific to that, but according to, like BG was asking about plagiarism check or Nidhi, there are some, I assess few tools. As we all know, it is a very changing market. So I don't recommend anything right now, as of now, because it is a very changing market, and no tools is doing a good work right now. Everything is in development phase. As the models keep on getting more and more better, and there are more and good tools come up, and I feel that I can talk about it. I can recommend a tool that, because when I recommend a tool, it has to be researched by me, because I am not just going by the wave. I am trying to help and give something. That's why I am not taking out any tools. Because there, to be honest, for plagiarism check also there are more than 50 to 60 tools, but most of them don't do the work properly. To be on till now, if I feel something is doing well, then I will surely talk about it and take out some content around it. But for me to speak about any tool, that's why in any of my talks, and any of you follow me on LinkedIn or you see, I am not a technology. I don't focus on any technology specific, any tools and technologies. I focus on the what is the foundation, what is the thing that goes behind it. So for us to be aware, because that is an important skill to have. Because tools, you can use anything, but you need to know what is the going on behind the tools to choose to make an informed decision, because there are so many options nowadays, right?
Correct.
So
can I just add a follow-up question?
Yeah, sure.
I recently heard that Microsoft is integrating ChatGPT in all of its apps, like for example Word, Excel, PowerPoint as well. And I saw a demo of Power BI as well.
Yes.
With chat options. So is this already available, or is it still in the development phase?
So it is still, there are some beta versions available. So what happens, to be honest, for Excel and as well as Power BI, the search, the help that is there, whenever you are using Microsoft Excel or Power BI, whenever you do a help, right, the help that is there, that has been now integrated to the OpenAI models that they are doing, but still it is in beta. That there are, for some users, they have opened it. Like suppose you are stuck in Excel, you are stuck in a sum if formula. So as we all know, Microsoft Help was not that good, because now what it is doing, it is using the OpenAI technology. So suppose in Microsoft Excel only, if you are getting problem in that error, so what is it going to do? It is going to see your error. You don't, and it is going to give an option for you to search that error and what specifically are you doing, so that they can suggest you the right thing. So I think right now it is in beta.
Yeah, I have tried that out. It gives you a suggestive, option to apply.
So yeah, to be honest, for this, so now more and more of this is going to get integrated in the new releases that are there. And like in more in Excel is already there, Power BI already there. In their Azure is actually the Microsoft's AI platforms. So there also they are giving lot of options for auto generative code. We all know. I don't know. People have heard about GitHub. There is a GitHub Copilot wherein you can actually, that is also now bought by Microsoft. So wherein you can type a scenario and it is going to give you the code automatically in any language that you want. Suppose you have a code in Python, you want to convert it into R or Java. You can easily do it using these tools and technologies. And finally, how people are using it, how the things are being used, it is being used by the OpenAI models that are there. But Microsoft, what it is doing, because I have been attending a lot of Microsoft seminars as well, it is not only directly using OpenAI, the models that are there, it is having a filter over it, wherein they make sure that they only keep it for the things that they require. As we all know, Microsoft does not care about nurse, doctor and all those things that are there. I'm talking about the product business. The product business that is there, that is Azure, Excel, Microsoft. So they really keep the data clean and only for their tools, and from there only we are getting, so it is more clearer and more clean, that is there. And also we all know that Microsoft is using their in the Bing AI, the chat that is there, it is also using these models, but with a cleaner version. So they make sure that it is clean. They have the references. Like now if you use Bing AI, it is going to give you a text, and it is also going to give you the reference from where this particular text is coming, to give a authenticity, that it is not only pulling from randomly, it is pulling from some places, and it is also giving you the URLs. So it's a very development phase. So I keep doing such I have a course for ChatGPT for data science, but it is still developing. It is still, I'm adding more and more things. I'm going to make more courses for conversational generative AI for educators, for marketers, for different things. So once it is ready, because right now, as we all know, things are becoming, every day things are changing. So let it become little bit stable. But till then, I keep doing webinars and audio events. Every week I do 2 events. It may be a repeat for many people, but it is important for everyone to know, because every day thousands of posts are coming about generative AI, but out of that only 5% are accurate, and rest 95% are just marketing things that are going on. So for you to be knowledgeable, to identify the 5%, you need to be aware and listen to the credible sources, and that is why I am doing more of these things. And if you can follow me on LinkedIn, and anything is there, you can put a post. I do this today, Monday. I generally do it on a Saturday, but this Saturday I had a seminar outside, so I could not do it on a Saturday, so I shifted it to a Monday. I know very less people joined today, but at least the recording will be there. I am recording this as well, so it will also be released in the podcast that is there then. And anything else, let me know. Any closing thoughts, Dhanvanti, BG, who are there in the speakers panel, and everyone who are there in the listeners panel, thank you very much. Yeah, you wanted to add something, Dhanvanti and BG?
No, just wanted to thank you so much for the reply.
Cool. BG, thank you, BG.
Thanks, Mohammed. It's been great, and you gave me some clear-cut steps to do. So very helpful. Thank you.
Cool. Next time, we will do. Next time, I think next I will do an event. I'll plan it before. I'll put it in the calendar. Actually, Patrick is here in the listeners panel. I requested Patrick to also join. He is very much knowledgeable, and he is much more knowledgeable than I myself in AI. And maybe I can request him to come with me as a speaker maybe next time, and also share his thoughts about this particular space, because it is very interesting to hear from people who have seen it completely grow, and the misconceptions and whatever is there, and how to simplify it. And always have that thing, ask questions and have that curiosity. That is the one thing that we all have to hear. As Dhanvati also told, she sees lot of tools. Ask questions, see is it, and don't just see which brand is behind it, what problem they're actually trying to solve. Just don't go by those words. See the authenticity. Like someone is posting about something, just see how much experience they have. You see my profile, I have written artificial intelligence expert, and I can write it because I have worked in this field for 18 years. I was not writing this, but I have to write it because many people are writing it and who really are not. So see the profile, see the credibility, and then try to listen to them and try to follow them. So that will be one of my last takeaways, and see you in the next event. And thank you everyone, all the people who joined this event on a short notice. And thank you for your thoughts, BJ and Dhanvanti as well, and all the speakers who came in earlier and talked. Have a great day, and have a great Monday. Bye bye.